Hey everybody, welcome to Henry Disc Golf. Today we are shooting the back nine of the Silver Lochs course in Antioch, Illinois. I am throwing today along with my brother Jason. Boom, there it is. I am throwing a finish line composite plastic Era here. I definitely throw it pretty decent. It does flip up a little bit for me. Wind up being right around that dirt pile you can see on the far end of your screen. Up next we have Jason. He is throwing a neutron jet. He's thrown this a couple times throughout the rounds, been throwing it okay. Threw a shot there. It's gonna wind up being a little shorter than what he wanted, but middle fairway. Here he is looking up the hill towards the basket. He does put that one a little bit too far left, and he is in the bush line just before the fence behind the basket. Here's my shot with a jawbreaker zone, throwing a little sidearm flick up to the basket. I actually almost run the basket a little bit there, wind up a little bit past it. Jason threw his shot there, a little sidearm flick just over the basket. It looks like I see him out of the corner of my eye lining up something. I tell him to go ahead and throw a second shot here. He tosses it. Ooh, really close. Good shot. There is my putt for birdie. By the way, that hole was a 418-foot par 4. I did wind up taking a birdie on that, and Jason did wind up just taking a par. Here we are on hole 11. It's a 350-foot par 4. I did throw my Era again. Been throwing it pretty decent, but it did come out of my hand a little early. I clipped some tree branches right there and just kind of dropped me down inside the junk. Wasn't a super great throw by me, but it is definitely still manageable. Jason should be throwing here. Yep, there he goes. He throws this one pretty decent. He wasn't all the way up to the gap of the woods yet to get in there, but he definitely put himself in a decent spot. You can see me just barely on the left-hand side of the screen there. I apparently didn't get myself into frame very well, but I'm throwing a jawbreaker zone again on a nice high hyzer. Throw it down through there and actually break through the trees and get myself a look at a putt. Here is Jason's upshot. He threw a really good shot. It just kind of caught the hillside, hit a tree, and then rolled back down the hill a little bit here. So you can see the gap that we have to hit in order to get to this basket. It is definitely a little tight to hit, but Jason gave it a good run there. It did wind up sitting down. There is the results of my upshot right here. This will be for a birdie 3. There it is. And Jason will be tapping out for par here. Boom. Here we are on hole 12. This is a 144-foot par 3. My shot right there was so close to acing. If it would have been 6 inches lower, it would have been beautiful. That was with a Star AVR putt and approach. Jason here is throwing a R Pro dart on a little Annie line. There it is. He actually has a really good shot just pushing it over the rocks. It is a little bit left of the basket, but he has a very good look. So like I said, I would definitely had an ace run here, so my throw did go long. I am behind the tree, lining up my putt. This is about a 35-40 foot putt. Boom, cash it in. It was a great putt. But you know, Jason's lined up in a perfect spot to take his birdie here. I definitely didn't want to give him one there, so I put it in. Jason taps it in, and we're moving on to hole 13. This is a 244-foot par 3. It goes straight out and then kind of tucks in over to the right just a little bit. Into the bushes is where the basket is. It is gettable, but I tend to throw to the old pin placement or the original pin placement, which is a little bit shorter and a little bit more to the left. That was a pretty good shot to either one. right in between. Jason here throws his shot, just kind of pulls it over a little early, clips some branches, and winds up dropping down. Here is his upshot, and he threw it right into the bush in front of him that he was trying to ante around. Here is the results from my drive. I have a little bit of a high look here, trying to make it. Ooh, a little short. And of course, the second guy makes it. He's always 1,000 rated, right? So here is Jason's putt after his upshot. Just over the top. He had a very good look at the basket. Put it over the top. Jason tries a little tomahawk at the basket. Does unfortunately miss it and goes a little bit past it. There is my tap out for par. Jason will be left with this for his double bogey 5 right here. There it is. Moving on to hole number 14. This is a 595-foot par 4. It is way down there on the hillside. You should see my shot coming through here any second. We are off to the left and behind the camera on these tee shots. I believe mine already went. Mine went out nice and wide, went around the trees and stayed towards the bottom of the hill. The bottom of the hill is the preferred place to throw on this hole, just because of how slanted that hillside is, and it makes for a little bit difficult footing. Jason's shot should be coming up here in just a second. There it is. He does get it turned over a little bit, and then it just winds up high-steering off really well to the bottom of the hill. He definitely comes up quite a bit shorter than me, but he throws his shot here a little bit too nose up, kind of right in between the old pin placement and the new pin placement. Still a lot shorter than what he wants to be. For me, I'm throwing a Champion Eagle that I just don't get out wide enough, and it does come up quite a bit short, but it is down towards the bottom of the hill again. A little bit more preferred putting uphill than downhill. Here is Jason's third shot here. He winds up kind of sailing that one a little bit. He just floated it up instead of driving it forward, and he did wind up here. But here is my look here. This is an uphill putt. It's about 50 feet out or so. Tried to give it a little bit of a run, but of course put it right underneath the basket for a nice easy par. This is Jason's par look right here. Tries to give it a bit of a run, just didn't get it wide enough. Does wind up going down the hill quite a bit. So here is Jason's look at his bogey attempt, and just barely missed that one. Definitely one of the ones that he would have liked to have made. There I am tapping out for my par, and Jason for his double bogey. So moving on to hole 15, this is a 340-foot par 3. It basically goes straight out there and then goes a little bit to the left, but it also goes downhill towards the end of the flight, so you want to make sure you throw something wide. I pushed that one inside more than what I wanted to, but I did get past the bushes that are right by the basket to the left-hand side. And Jason is about to throw here. There he is. His throw was kind of a little bit nose up and a little bit too much hyzer. Comes up quite a bit short. He's got a little sidearm approach. He's trying to go to the left side of those trees there, but unfortunately he throws it a little bit early and a little bit low, and he does get a little bounce to the front side of the hill. And that putt he pulled just a little bit there, so he did go a little bit long of the basket. Here is my putt for birdie. Pretty decent looking run, but it was still about a 35-40 footer. Jason did tap in his bogey, and I tapped in my par. We're moving on to hole number 16. Hole number 16 is a 282-foot par 3. They did some dragging of the ponds that they have, and they took a lot of dirt out of them and put this dirt here in this dirt pile. So you want to throw kind of a little bit of a wide hyzer, which is what I did, but mine just didn't come back all the way I wanted to. Jason threw his as well, didn't get it as wide as he wanted, so he did wind up pushing into the dirt piles. Here is a look at his upshot. Nice and smooth, came up in a very good spot there, just a little bit short and left. This is my look for birdie. This was about a 30-footer over the mound that's there, and it did drop down just a little bit early. Jason tapping in his par, and I am also tapping in my par. Moving on to hole number 17, this is a 436 par 4, slightly uphill the whole way. I throw my era again, but immediately out of my hand, I was trying to really rip it, so I wound up turning it over. It did wind up going out towards the road. Didn't get in the road that's through there. It's actually kind of just a parking lot area for football during football season, but I did throw pretty far down there. Definitely will have quite a bit of an uphill look for my upshot. Jason's throw here. He gets a pretty decent throw. Actually, I can't say that. It was a really low throw. He just kind of threw it in the ground and burned it over a little bit. Because I was so far away from him, I captured this shot here. I didn't get the full flight of the shot, but he wound up going about 30 feet further than what I actually panned the camera to. Here is my upshot. I was throwing a Z zone up towards the basket and just kept it a little bit on the wide side, but I am pin high, so I do have a look at a birdie putt. Here is Jason's third shot. Tossing it up. It does wind up leaving it a little bit short and a little bit left, so this is a result of his throw. And just misses that one for his par, so he is going to wind up taking a bogey on the hole. I am hitting my putt there. That is about a 22 to 25 foot putt. Nice and smooth. Put it in the basket. Moving on to hole number 18. This is a 362 foot par 3. This is a pretty downhill shot. It's tucked into a cove that is right out there. I throw my shot and wind up turning it over with a champion eagle a little bit more than what I expected, but I'm saying to Jason that as I was holding the disc in my hand with the way the wind was coming from right to left there, it was actually wanting to turn it over in my hand. So I should have known a little bit better to get a little bit more hyzer angle on it when I threw it, but it didn't wind up in a terrible spot. Here is Jason's shot. Throws a pretty similar shot to me, does turn his disc over a little bit more than I did. He does wind up putting himself down the hill. So the basket is down past those trees that he was trying to throw around there. He does wind up just clipping them and dropping down. Here I'm throwing a drawbreaker zone around the trees, trying to put it on the basket. I throw it just a little bit past the basket, had a really good throw. Here is Jason's shot after his upshot. Winds up leaving it just a little bit short in a tough spot. He was throwing from a tough spot. Here is his shot for bogey, I believe. Sorry, that was his shot for par. He just missed it. And now here is my tap in for par. And then Jason's tap in for bogey. I would like to thank everybody for stopping by the Henry Disc Golf channel. I appreciate you. Let me know if you have anything you would like me to do. Have a great day, guys.